And then after these replies by ECOWAS, Ibrahim Traore, the leader of Burkina Faso, flamed up them all. He loudly fired back at them. Let's get into part of the speech. Ibrahim Traore practically brutalized them with this speech. Respect, family. The days of Kwame Nkrumah and the days of Gaddafi are here. The revolution of Africa and the long-awaited dream of African freedom is finally here. Ibrahim Traore, the leader of Burkina Faso, he's shaking tables. The guy is breaking chains, people. Before we dive into it, kindly subscribe and don't forget to hit the like button. Respect. In recent developments, 3 Sahel nations, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they have decided to break away from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to form their own alliance. This move makes a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape of West Africa. Fast forward, after taking this bold decision, threat of military attack grip on them by their own brothers, ECOWAS. For what? Their crime is only one. They just want to break the chains of imperialism. That is their crime. So they quickly formed the AES Defense Pact in 2023, with Ibrahim Traore, the leader of Burkina Faso, promising that anyone who dare to attack any of their states, the person must first of all go through him together with the people of Burkina. Now, after forming the Defense Pact, they upgraded it to Alliance of the Sahel State for more broader conversations. Loads of sanctions follow after their decision to break away from the ECOWAS. Sanctions to cripple their economy, attempt by the enemy to attack their nations with terrorism. Been through it all, ECOWAS suddenly slapped back their plan to intervene militarily to restore these 3 nations back to democratic rules. And they have decided to use diplomatic formats which failed in many ways. Many attempts were made to bring them back into the bloc, including asking the newly elected president of Senegal to persuade Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso to come back into the bloc. But that also didn't work. To make it short and snappy, recently they had their first summit of the Alliance of the Sahel State in Niger to cement their decision of breaking away from ECOWAS to be irreversible. After the meeting, ECOWAS sent a message to them. But before we talk about the shocking reply of ECOWAS, these 3 nations are currently in talk with creating their own currency, dropping the French currency, dropping the French culture. They practically aim at dropping anything that have to do with colonialism and imperialism. So practically, these 3 nations are bringing back the days of Kwame Nkrumah and Gaddafi. At this junction, any proud African of this movement must like this video and subscribe to stay updated to this revolutionary update. Respect. Now, after the Alliance of the Sahel States, which ended with a powerful speech by Ibrahim Traore referring to ECOWAS as an organization of slave or modern slave, ECOWAS gave a direct reply, a reply which practically exposed ECOWAS. ECOWAS replied through a statement affirming that they only care about the dollar that is involved. Without wasting your time, let's pull it out. Let's get it on Guardian's page. Now, it says ECOWAS grouping of West African countries has warned the region faces disintegration. They can't confuse anyone with English in this 21st century. To those who may not understand the direct meaning of disintegration, it simply means the process of losing strength. Alright, so in other words, they are saying that Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso will become weak from moving away from ECOWAS. Now let's move forward. The head of ECOWAS Commission, Omar Aliou Touré, said the withdrawal of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso risk political isolation, the loss of millions of dollars in funding, don't forget that, and the hampering of freedom of movement. In this, he is referring or he's making reference to the unrestricted movement allowed within the ECOWAS bloc since its formation in 1975. So what they are practically saying is that they will limit the movement of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. At this junction, I will say it very loud. The enemy of Africa is Africans. Now, from what we read right now, the reply of ECOWAS, you and I can see that all ECOWAS is concerned about is the millions of dollars that are involved. How do you choose paper over your valuable resources? It doesn't make any sense. And then after these replies by ECOWAS, Ibrahim Traore, the leader of Burkina Faso, flamed up them all and decided to take all the dirty clothes and then put them in public and then wash them. He loudly fired back at them and exposed Benin and Côte d'Ivoire. He said everything in French, but don't worry. Trust me for accurate translation from French to English. Respect. Just make sure that you support us by subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Now, the big news out there right now is that Burkina Faso accuses France of complicity with Benin and Ivory Coast. Let's get into part of the speech. Ibrahim Traore practically brutalized them with this speech. Now, let's go. We have in one interview talked about the Ivorian regime, and some people jump on their horses. I said it, I insist, I persist. We have nothing against the Ivorian people, but we have something with those who lead Côte d'Ivoire. We say it and we repeat it again. Let me tell you something. There is a well-established base in Abidjan, an operation center to destabilize our country. No one can deny it, and we will prove it to you in the next few days. We will show you physical evidence. You will understand what we are talking about. No one can come and tell us that in Benin there is no French base directed against us. We have evidence at hand. There are two important bases. No one can deny them, and I challenge them openly, and I repeat it again. We have nothing against the people of Benin, but we have a problem with the politics of Benin leaders, and we are saying it loud and clear in this democratic way. We have decided to tell them the truth. There are two bases, one towards Kandi, and there is another one on the way to Pogua. I don't know exactly which locality. We have discovered that runways over 3,000 meters long have been redeveloped, and planes are landing there to equip and train terrorists against us. We have all the details about them, and you don't want us to tell our people? We will tell them. If they don't want us to tell our people, then they should stop behaving the way they are behaving. Simple. Now listen, this is the interesting part. He said, we are not forcing anyone to take their independence. If you decide to stay in your situation, that is your own problem. But don't take your country and to make it a stoppage or basis to attack your fellow brother. Because at the end of the day, it is your population that will suffer the consequences. And it is not a good policy. We say it and then we say it by experience. I always repeat it that at a point in time, Burkina Faso have been a base for terrorism to destabilize some countries. And it is not a good thing. And this is the price that we are paying. So these countries that I'm talking about should advise their leaders. If not, the consequences of what their leaders are doing will affect them. Wow, guys, this is amazing. A revolution. People, every proud African should subscribe and like the video and launch your comment. Respect.